everyone, George here, and in this video I think what we're going to do is tackle the door opening in the wrong direction. If you watched the previous video, then you know that depending upon which side Foxy's on, it may open into his face or it may open the opposite direction, which is what we want. So what I'm thinking is, and I just took a couple minutes between the last video and this one to just wonder how I'm going to do this. But I think what I can do is probably do something like a dot product between the forward vector of the door and the forward vector of Foxy. And depending upon which direction those are in relation to each other, whether I get a value of, close to 1 or -1, I might be able to figure out which side Foxy's on, and then with that information, tell it to open up in one direction with a negative sign or open it with a positive 90-degree direction. So let's think about this and see what we can do. So we've got access to the game object itself inside of rotate door with path logic right here. Now I'm going to need to do this logic at the very beginning because it's going to change both how max angle is actually dealt with. Max angle is going to have to be either a positive or negative value. So let's just create a new variable, float directed max angle, and that's going to be equal to the max angle times some direction. It's either going to be positive or negative. So let's do path logic dot game object dot transform dot forward vector. That's one thing that I need, and I'm also going to need the doors vector. So we're going to need this dot transform dot forward vector, and I'm going to want to do a dot product between the two. So we're going to need a float vector 3 dot dot and these two together. Although I'm wondering if I should do a two-dimensional dot product instead, because I don't need the Y component messing things up in this case. I can collapse it down to two-dimensional space. Is this supposed to be capital? Probably, yes. And let's do a vector 2, actually. And what are you giving me crap for? Oh, well, yeah, that would be bad, isn't it? I'm declaring the type twice. Vector 2 dot dot, and that's going to be X and Y, so I'm going to want to do game blah, 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 blah. I'm going to need to create two new vectors, so vector 3, or vector 2, animatronic direction is equal to something, and then vector 2 door direction is going to be equal to something else as well. So let's grab this hunk of junk and do a new vector 2, and we want the X and the Z directions. Dot X, and then we're going to grab the whole thing again, copy that, go down a new line, paste it, and put a parenthesis on the end, and do that. Okay, we're going to do the same thing for the next line. So let's just copy all that, copy all that, paste that right there, and instead of it being path logic, it's going to be this dot transform, and so forth and so on. This dot transform dot forward X and Z. Okay, great. So now that we've got that, now we do the dot product between the two. So actually, I should have kept that. But anyway, float dot is going to be equal to vector 2 dot dot product of animatronic direction and door direction. And we're going to get a value between -1 and +1. I'm going to want to push this to be an integer value, is my thinking. So how does that work actually with negative numbers? I'm guessing that with negative numbers it'll end up getting pushed to the, does it get pushed to the higher number or the lower number? C#, casting negative float to int. What happens there? So what happens if it's negative? Int. So -1.1 becomes -1. So it does go to the higher value. So that makes me believe that it'll go to 0 then, which isn't what I want. So I'll have to do just a quick check or an if statement. So we have animatronic door direction. This can go away. That doesn't matter. So we have the dot product, and we want this to be, I got to see whether it's greater than 0 or less than 0. If, actually, we can probably use a ternary, right, for this. So if we do, the test is going to be dot greater than 0, and then question mark, we'll do float directed max angle is going to be equal to dot greater than 0. Then we want to do max angle. I don't know which one's right yet, so we're just going to have to figure it out, or max angle times a negative 1.0. So we're going to get either 90 degrees or negative 90 degrees, depending upon what this dot product happens to be. Once again, I don't know which direction it is, so we're going to try it out, see if it works, and then if it doesn't, we'll flip the values and see if the other way works instead. And if the thing doesn't work at all, then we'll have to go back to the drawing board and figure something else out. Let's see here. So anywhere we have max angle needs to be replaced with directed max angle instead. Max angle. Oh, whoops. Max angle. There we go. And that's all good. Okay, let's go back over here now and see what happens. Okay, that opened up in the right direction, but that's a 50-50 chance right now. That is a problem, but it did open in the right direction when he got to it. The issue, though, is if the door is already open, we don't want to open it. So we need to do a test to see whether or not door is open. So at the very beginning, if not is open, then we can do all this nonsense. Otherwise, we don't care. And actually, because of that, we don't want him to stop, which means I need to take the pausing logic out of here and put it into the toggle, the rotate door part, because I don't want the animatronic to get stuck in an endless loop if I were to actually run this code. So now let's come over here, hit clear, hit run. Opened up in the right direction. Door is now open, so hopefully that door will no longer impede that animatronic. Oh, you went the wrong way. Come on. Okay, you got indecisive. Oh, come on. If this is stuck because I didn't do those paths. Oh, Jesus. Is this stuck? That has a 50-50 chance of going the other way. And that has the ability to go outward. Oh, there we go. Now that opened in the wrong direction. So that was incorrect. So this makes me wonder, because I got rid of the rotation values, and everyone's rotation values are screwed up now, if I got to go back in there and fix that. And I think I do. Okay, so we're going to stop this. I'm going to go back, and we're going to have to delete all of this not waypoints. We're going to keep that. We're going to delete the entire scene again, and go into Maya, and I'm going to take the version of this scene that actually has the offset orientations. Let's see here. La, 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 la. Yeah, that's at 90 degrees. It's at 90 degrees. Because I want that forward vector. That forward vector right there tells me a lot of important information about the orientation of the door. Now that might be troublesome. No, it should be okay. All right. Let's give this another go. Send to Unity, selection, test room, yes. This might not work at all. I'm probably not thinking something through. All right, I'm guessing it's done. Let's bring this back. Open up those doors. Door 1 through 11. Collider. collider, door, swing script, save, hit run. Watch what happens this time. All right, so that started from a negative. That's really screwed up now. So okay, I really messed it up this time, but that's fine. We'll figure it out. So see, it's is open is false. Hold on a second. Now it's not open. Now it says it's open. Something's getting way screwed up. Let's go back in the code really quick. If is not open, then we do all this nonsense. And is open is equal to false. We don't want to toggle it. We just want to set it to false. This means that when the player changes the door, we're also going to need to know how far basically within a certain angle. Oh geez, that's actually going to be troublesome, isn't it? To even have the door be open or closed. Another thing to think about. Because if the player wants to try to crack the door open, is that open now? Because it's not at the right angle. And then they back away, it's still not at the right angle. And I'm not going to want to necessarily have it completely open or completely closed. So the very fact that I have an is open parameter is probably bad. I probably should be testing to see whether or not the door is open enough to let the animatronic through. I'm just going to make a note of that. Check if door is open enough to let animatronic through. Do not have states for doors. Yeah, I think that'll be a change that I probably end up making in this. Well, let's try this really quick. I just want to see what happens if I switch the two directions. So right now it says it's not open. Goes up to it, it opened up, although it seemed like it popped open. Then it popped shut. It's not saying it's open, even though it went through already. Do you see that? So why is that happening? Oh no, that's correct. Is open should be true. That's stupid of me. Okay. At least that part's right now. Yeah, see, it's popping to that value. It's because its initial value is negative 90. So it's going from negative 90 to 0, which is that instantaneous jump. And then it's going to whatever value it needs to be after that. So then it's going to what would be 0, or it needs to go to 0. Now I am doing this with the local. So what if I just do dot rotation, do it in world? I think that's going to work even less, but we'll give it a shot. I believe I need to take into consideration what the current angle is and then add the 90 to it or minus it. Yeah, world is even less. So let's undo that. So let's do, instead of min angle, because the angle is it's going to be, the min angle is based upon what it is when it's shut. And then the max angle is going to be it plus or minus this amount, the 90 degrees. So then when we do this, we're going to want to create a min angle up here. So float min angle is going to be equal to this dot transform dot let's see, Euler angles dot transform dot rotation dot Euler angles dot, and what do we want? We want the Y angle for that. And so now it's just about, so when we come down here, we're going to have a positive or a negative 90 that we have to go to. Once again, we'll have to figure out which way is which. Then when we come down here, we're going to want to move from our minimum angle right here, plus however much we want to move now. So that's going to end up being our min angle plus our directed angle, and that, which will be either positive or negative. So then this will give us a value from minimum angle plus or minus 90 degrees in both cases. We then multiply that value from either 1 to 0 or 0 to 1, and then we add back the minimum angle that it started at, and then we rotate by that amount. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh wait, hold on. This is wrong. This needs to be local rotation. Okay. All right. Well, that just came around and closed on his ass, so that was not good. Now that's still open according to it. Way too fast. Are you going to choose a different path or what? Jeez. Way too indecisive. Too much. So it opened, and it didn't do the weird stuff. All right, we're going to turn off Foxy's stuff so I can just directly test this. So we're going to go to Nav Mesh Agent and turn that off. We're going to see if we get any errors. Not yet. So let's just grab Foxy, and I'm going to put him through the door, and I want him to come from the other direction. Okay. Now, why did this door not work? What's the, this is at negative 90. So when I came in this way, it wrapped around, and it did that twice, actually. Let's try other doors and see if we get, so that, let's try this one. So that's also wrapping around, and it started the wrong way. That wrapped around, went the wrong way, but went correct. So it's getting a larger angle in one of these cases. So let's take a quick look. Most likely this has to do with this right here. So max angle is going to be either negative 90 or positive 90. Dot product is greater than 0. So if dot product is greater than 0, then they're both facing the same direction. So it's going to want to open outwards away from it. And then if it's less than 0, it means that they have opposing. So let's flip-flop really quick. Just want to get that out and see if it... Oh, here's an issue. Foxy actually needs to face the direction of the door he's going into. So that opened in the wrong direction. And that is a limiting factor, is the fact that... So we might want to use the position instead of Foxy's forward direct vector. That is still wrong. So it completely depends on... That's wrong. That's incorrect. So this isn't working at all. So what is the value that this has now? A negative 88. All right, let's select this door. Lock it. Take a look at this thing again. Here's Foxy. What orientation did that door have? That was facing towards Foxy, so they're in opposition to each other. All right, then it's time to print out the values and see what happens. I'm going to switch this back. Not that it probably does anything. So let's do debug.log angle. Copy that. Paste the same thing here. And give it a shot. Grab Foxy, or not a piece of Foxy, but all of Foxy. And what did it spit out? Well, I'm an idiot. I am an idiot. Why am I doing such a bad job? Why is it going up to 450? 271.8? What are the angles that I'm dealing with here? If I grab that door, which is now inside, the max angle's 90. That's 90. So let's print out a couple different things. Let's print out directed max angle plus toString we'll do a space angle and then I guess whatever the hell the actual angle is, this dot transform dot local rotation. I mean, this should end up being equal to whatever I set. I just don't understand why directed max angle is so huge. Yeah, anyway, let's try this. See what happens. Welcome to my video where I screw everything up. Here we go. Rotate Foxy. Check out the console. And so it is negative 90. What am I printing out? Local rotation. So why is it? Oh, it's a quaternion. I need local rotation.Euler. Might be because I add the minimum angle to it. I'm guessing that's screwing it up. So if the minimum angle is 90 or negative 90, at most I can add 90 to something. Yeah, let's print in the, instead of the directed, let's put in the min angle. I want to see what that is. $270. So it's saying that that door's initial is 270. So it's ignoring negative. It is just, oh. Okay. I gotta take a minute and think. I'm going to scrap this. We're going to use vectors instead to figure out how to rotate this thing. That's what I'm thinking right now, because if I use for all of these doors, I'm going to either open it to the positive local forward axis or the right, or close it to the right vector. I just need to know which side to do it to. And then I can use the rotate to vector stuff to make that actually happen. So that is probably what I'm going to do in this case. All right, so I'm going to stop here and I will follow that up in the next video. Bye.